Hi there, and welcome to the channel. Okay, I'm back with you. I haven't made a video in a long time, so maybe some of you don't even recognize me. I've been that long away, but anyway, I'm back, and yeah, I thought I'd make a video today about retirement. Retirement when you're in your 20s, your 30s, even your 40s, you think, retirement, that's still years and years in the future. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that. But it's actually the best time to do it. The earlier you can start, the better. Is put a plan into place. So the first thing to do is have a plan. So if you don't have a plan, it's best to do one now. And by the way, this is not financial advice. This is just the way I do things, and life gets away with you, and sometimes you start late with this. You have a little bit of savings, but not much. But so now it's time to kick off the retirement savings. For myself, I've only got a few years left until retirement age. Okay, which yeah, technically is 65, but as I'll discuss later. Hello, Willie. So I've just got a cat here just joining me. What do you think about it? What are you going to do in your retirement? She's still very young, so she doesn't have to worry about it, but she can start a plan. She can put a plan in place for cats to save up cat biscuits. Yeah. Okay, you can lay there, my girl. Okay, so yeah, so have a plan and stick to the plan. Don't let anything knock you out of the plan. Look, life does happen. There are things, that come in your way, like, for example, obviously, like retrenchments and stuff like that, which is not good. But obviously, you can pause it if something like that does happen, and then restart it again when your situation improves. Okay, so and also number two is pay yourself first. So what I mean by that is when you get your salary at the end of the month, often people will say, okay, they need to pay their rent or their bond, they need to pay this, they need to pay that, they need to pay this. And then by the time all the debit orders have gone off, they have no money to invest. So what you must do is set up a debit order, and then you for your investing, and then it becomes automated. So when it's automated, you don't have to think about it, you don't have to worry about it. It just happens naturally, and it's not a conscious decision. Oh, I must invest money or whatever. Okay. Now, what I mean by investing money is for example, you must take advantage of all your options. So the government does give you quite a few good options for retiring. If you've got a pension fund at work, then often your employer contributes half and you contribute half. So that money is going in, and also the contributions are tax free. So if your employer has a pension fund, it's worthwhile going with them. And then also, if you don't have a pension fund, if your company doesn't have a pension fund, or if you're self-employed or stuff like that, then you can invest in a RA, or retirement annuity. Most of the insurance companies have retirement annuities, and you can invest in a retirement annuity. You can set up a debit order to take a monthly amount of your when you get paid, whatever, or the end of the month. And okay, Willa, you can lay down. And that goes off every month. That's also tax deductible. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Okay, let's see. Okay, there are the cats. My cat lays down, or my neighbor's cat. Okay, so yeah, take advantage when you can. So you've got your pension, you've got a retirement annuity if you don't have a pension. You can actually contribute quite a bit into that and have it tax deductible. What that means is your contributions go in and it gets deducted off your tax. In other words, let's say let's say you earn, to make it easy, 100,000 Rand in a year, and let's say you make contributions of 10,000 Rand in a year. Okay, so that would mean they would actually take you pay your tax on 100,000. Then when you fill in your tax form, or when they get your tax, then that contributions of 10,000 they minus off your yearly salary, and then they tax you on 90,000, and then you would get a refund of a few thousand, because then you don't pay tax on the amount that you've paid your retirement annuity on. The other thing is a tax-free savings account, which is very beneficial. They only brought this in about 2016, and they've increased the limits once. So I think they will increase the limits again in the next few years. How that works, it's called tax-free savings account. They should actually call it a tax-free investment account, because you can have one through a bank. Most of the banks offer them. But also some of the financial institutions offer them, like, for example, Satrix, Easy Equities don't have, but there's quite a few of the financial institutions that offer a tax-free savings account. I know Alan Gray do have one as well. So in other words, what happens with your tax-free savings account is you use after-tax money. So it's not tax deductible. So it's money you get after you've paid your tax on it. But you can contribute up to 36,000 Rand a year, 36 Rand a year, which works out about 3,000 Rand a month. But you can only contribute 36,000 Rand in a tax year. So the tax year we're currently in, if you've paid your 36,000 Rand, you can't pay anything more in. If you do, then they tax you at 40% on the excess you pay in over the 36,000 Rand for that year. Then you have to wait until March if you've maxed it out. You should be maxing your tax-free savings account every year if you can. So it's 36,000 Rand for year one, 36,000 Rand for year two. So then you should have 72,000, and so on. And then there's a lifetime limit of 500,000. So that will take you, I think it's about 13 years and 11 months or 10 months or something around about there. When you've paid in your 500,000, then you can't pay any more in. Okay, you can actually withdraw from your tax-free savings account, but it's definitely not advisable, because once you withdraw from that account, you can't pay that money back in. It comes off your annual and your lifetime contribution. So in other words, if you whatever you draw out, say you pay 36,000 Rand in, and then I need money there, so you draw 10,000 out. Okay, then you think, okay, I've got the money later on, I want to pay it back in. You can't. If you pay, they don't take the withdrawal into the account with the contribution, so they don't minus it off your contributions. So you've paid in 36, you minus 10. It's not that you paid 26. The SARS see it as 36,000. So you would have to wait till the next tax year to pay in, if you make withdrawals. The best way to do it is not to make withdrawals, is to let that money grow, because the growth in your tax-free savings account is the same as your retirement annuity. The money grows, and your pension fund. The money grows tax-free inside that account. The difference is with the RA, you get a tax deduction before. When you get your money out, you have to pay tax on the money. But there is something I'll speak about now about that. But with a tax-free savings account, you put in after-tax money. There's no tax on the growth, on the dividends, on the interest, on everything like that. And when you take it out, there's no tax on the capital growth. There's no capital gains tax. There's no tax on anything like that. So it is well worthwhile to max out your tax-free savings account, let it grow. If you start early, it can be worth millions. If you start later on, you can grow that. You can grow that money to, obviously, depending on what you invest in. You can invest in, you can diversify into a few different ETFs. which is exchange traded funds. Exchange traded funds are similar to unit trust, but they trade on the stock. They trade on the markets, and then what they do is you pay in and you buy into, say, an index. For example, you can buy the top 40 index on Satrix top 40, which is the top 40 shares on the stock exchange. You can buy the S&P 500, you can buy the NASDAQ, and then you have thematic ones as well, which is, for example, a healthcare. You can buy financial, which buys the financial institutions. So yeah, you've got different things you can buy into, like emerging markets, the world one. There's different ETFs you can buy. So you pay your money in, and then you will get the growth on your money. You will also get dividends. The best thing to do, like I said, not financial advice, but this is the best thing for you. The best thing for me, definitely, is when you get your dividends, you just click on a thing that says reinvest your dividends. It's an option you take, and you can change it at any time. So basically, what you can do is then get your dividends reinvested. So what they do when they pay out that dividends, let's say that dividends 50 Rand in the one ETF. So they take that 50 Rand and they buy shares of that ETF. They buy shares of the ETF for the 50 Rand. Then your value will increase on that ETF, and they do this quarterly. Most pay distributions or dividends quarterly. Then they will keep paying into that. Obviously, it's invested into the stock market, and the stock market, you do get usually the higher rate of growth than, for example, traditional like fixed deposits or whatever. But obviously there is more risk. It can be volatile. It can go up. It can go down. But you have to just have the mindset. If you've got the long-term mindset, the ups and downs shouldn't bother you. Also, this is something called what they call dollar cost averaging or rand cost averaging, which is also what you're doing if you pay monthly. So in other words, let's say you have a tax-free savings account and you can pay 3,000 Rand monthly, or maybe you pay even less. You pay in monthly, and then you pay into your ETFs monthly, either automatically or you pay manually in monthly. If you do that, then if the market goes up, the market goes down. If the market goes down, you buy more units at that price. If the markets go up, then you buy less units, but your units are worth more. So over time, the stock market will usually perform, let's say, 8%, maybe 10, 12 sometimes, but you should be looking for around about 8% per year. The market has gone up quite a bit. So in the last few years, after the COVID and the down year we had in 2022, so the market has been going up a little bit. So it is at highs, and people are nervous, but the thing is, we've got things like AI coming in, and AI is still benefiting companies tremendously, and the earnings that's coming out are increasing, so that will help to drive the stock market higher. But don't be fooled. It doesn't go up in a straight line. You will have pullbacks, but that's the thing about investing in growth assets. You do sometimes have pullbacks, but don't be concerned about it. Just continue paying in your monthly amounts, no matter what the market prices are. Just pay in. That dollar cost averaging works over time. Okay, and then okay, so yeah, what else did I want to talk about today? Okay, so retirement age is usually what they call 65, but there's no hard and fast rule about retirement age or the retiring from a retirement annuity, because what happens is if your company says to you that you can work beyond, it obviously depends what type of work you do and stuff. If they say that you can work past the age of 65, it is a mutual agreeable thing that you can actually work past. So it's, in other words, your retirement age is plus minus 65, but you can sometimes work longer. So that's obviously your own specific situation. And also, retiring from a retirement annuity is also a different thing. In other words, you can still be working at your job and retire from a retirement annuity, or vice versa. You can leave your job and you can retire later. You can, it's totally up to you. And then also with the tax-free savings account, you can pay in after the age of 65 as well. So in other words, if you haven't reached your lifetime limit, by the time you hit 65, you are actually able to pay in 36, but you need to keep to the yearly limits, 36,000, until you reach your 500,000 limit. So that's all beneficial things to you. The other thing I want to talk about is when you retire, when you're working, you get up, you're going to work, you're coming home from work, you've got work on your mind. When you retire, it's like it's obviously freedom. You think, okay, now I can do what I want to. But a lot of people actually lose their sense of purpose when they retire. They have a purpose when they're working. This is what they do. This is who they are. And when they stop working and then they wake up the first morning, they don't know what to do. They at home, wow. Okay, so this is where it's good to have a routine. It's good to have a routine, and it's good to have hobbies and stuff that you do. It's good to go out and have a cup of coffee and with your partner and go and have breakfast and go do things that you couldn't do usually during the week, and now you can do it anytime. You don't have to wait till the weekend. So but have a routine. Say, for example, okay, I'm going to get up X time, 6, 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or whatever. I'm going to get up that time. I'm going to maybe go for a walk. I'm going to have breakfast. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Have like some sort of structure to your day. Obviously, you're not like limited to when you're working, because then you have to be at work between that time and that time. But have some sort of like structure or hobbies and say, right, I'm gonna, for example, if you're building something with a hobby or something, you can do that. Wake up in the morning, have some breakfast, go do your hobby till lunchtime. After lunchtime, okay, I'm going to go walk around the dam or whatever. You can. So you see what I'm saying? You keep your mind busy and occupied, because a lot of people just don't know what to do with themselves. Yeah, so that's it. And the other thing is your health. Um, some expenses go down after retirement, and some expenses go up. And like health could be one of them that could go up after you retire, because the older you get, the more hello, there's another cat. The more susceptible you are to illnesses and stuff, so stay healthy when you're still working. Try and exercise regularly. Try keep your body in shape. Try eat healthy. Get used to that before you retire, so you're in the habit of doing these things, and then you'll find that will keep you fit and everything. Okay. All right. So yeah. So you have to do your sums as well. You have to say, right, when I'm retiring, I'm going to get X amount per month from that, from your retirement annuity, your pension, whatever, and then you've got your tax-free savings accounts, and you can even have a brokerage account as backup, and also you can invest into dividends. You can get your dividends. The ideal is if you can earn enough from dividends to supplement or even replace your income. I mean, if you can earn enough to replace your income, that's fantastic. But if you can at least supplement your income with dividends or something, or like I said, if you could do an extra job or something on the side. If, for example, if you got a hobby and you can sell you make woodwork stuff and you sell your woodwork stuff, or you do, there's a lot of different things to do out there. So yeah, that can supplement your income. But listen, the best thing to do, have a positive mindset, have a plan, and put it into action, and be, how can I say, true to yourself. Say, right, I'm going to start now, today, and start. Okay, what I can do is let me maybe increase my retirement annuity or whatever, so I will get a little bit more out when it comes to um, try and max out your tax-free savings account every year. So when you come to getting out your when you come to withdraw your money or living off your dividends from that, then you got more to work with. So yeah, so that's like I say, not financial advice at all, but that's just things to think of and things to possibly do um, into the future when you retire. And also, when you retire, it's not the end; it's actually the beginning of something new. And you probably live for 10, 20, maybe even 30 or 40 years after you retire. So in other words, the money when you get to retirement, it's not just that's it. The money you invest before retirement and up to retirement, that money must see returns into the future. So you can still have a 10, 20, 30, 40 year outlook on your investments as well to grow. Obviously, you want to be a little bit more stable, a little bit more stabilized as you get that age, but you need like something into growth assets as well. A smaller portion of your portfolio in growth assets, but you need something in growth assets to increase your values over time and during your retirement, so you can enjoy that money while you have the time to enjoy it. Okay, so thanks. Cheers, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.